What's up, everybody? This is Matt Price. Welcome back to Pneuma Part 2. We got 4 badass drum fills. Let's check them out. So if you didn't watch Part 1, I got a link in the description below. Go check out those fills. In the intro of that video, I give a little description of how I break out or how I have the cymbals labeled and all that stuff. I look at this first drum fill like it's 3 groups of 6 16th notes. Starts on the and of beat 4 on the high tom, and he's basically doing right, left, right as a 30-second note thing. 2 notes with the left hand, and then another right, left. So this is the first group of 6. Second group of 6, he shifts over to the middle tom, where he plays 30-second notes, right, left, right, then a left, and then he does another 30-second note grouping type of thing, right, left, right, left. That's our second group of 6. Now the third group, he moves down to floor tom, middle tom, floor tom, floor tom, and then he finishes it with 30-second notes. I don't know why I keep saying that wrong. He finishes it out with 30-second notes between his second floor tom and his first floor tom. I'm going to demonstrate that and the rest of these fills today at half speed, which is 60 beats per minute, 75% speed, which I believe is about 80 or 90 beats per minute, and then full tempo, 120. Here we go. Fill number 2, we're in a 16th note triplet subdivision the whole way through the second measure. He starts it out with a 6-stroke roll, smashes on the crash, does the rest of the 6-stroke roll on the snare drum. And then here, this is pretty cool, he does a double paradiddle starting on the snare, and then the rest of the double paradiddle is between the floor tom and the middle tom. And then he finishes it out with just single strokes on the snare. So very rudimentary type fill, except the way he plays it, it sounds super badass. And honestly, this one was probably the hardest one to get up to tempo for me. If you watch Carey play it, there's so much power behind those notes. So this is difficult to do when you're playing on the toms because they're much more thuddy and not as responsive as the snare drum. So again, here it is, 3 tempos. Start it slow, work up the speed as you can. So in fill number 3, he does a ripping double bass fill, and I haven't played double bass for like 6 years, so I had to get my second bass drum out and kind of shed just some simple double bass stuff before I could get this lick up to speed. What he's doing is not very complicated per se. It's just a right, left, kick, kick type of thing. But what's cool about this is it's another grouping of 3 idea where if you look at the way he's orchestrating it, starting on the snare drum is kind of the first group, and then group 2 and 3 is on the floor tom and the middle tom. So really interesting phrasing, really powerful and fast fill. I did my best trying to play this up to tempo, but it's been so long since I practiced double bass that it's not quite so clean. So you'll just have to forgive me and bear with me. But here it is, 3 tempos, 4 times through on each one. Check it. So this last fill in part 2 is kind of a throwback to the first fill from part 1. Very similar idea, just different orchestration, and he's using the crash and the china in this one. So you can see in the transcription above kind of the orchestration, and I'll demonstrate it again here. 3 tempos, but this one has another really powerful, really thick and full Danny Carey kind of sound. So check this one out. Here we go. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I got a lot of good response from the first video, so hopefully some of you watched the first one, find your way to this one. If you haven't seen the first one, again, link is in the description below. Check that one out. It's really awesome to go and study an amazing drummer like Danny Carey. As I said in the first one, he is my favorite drummer, and learning these fills has really been a challenge. Like, the first section was kind of tough to learn, but I had a much harder time learning these fills and trying to get them up to tempo. And for whatever reason, I'm having a challenging time memorizing the order that he plays the crash cymbals in. So I'm not really discussing that too much in these videos, but when you look at the transcription, link in the description below, you can see the order that he chooses to hit the crash cymbals. And, you know, I'm guessing and assuming that he's improvising all of this. It's not the same stuff that you hear on the recorded version on the album. But it's just interesting to note his crash cymbal choices as well as all the crazy licks that he's doing, because it brings in a very melodic, like orchestral type of thing with the way that he's hitting the crashes. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments if you got something out of this. Feel free to hit that subscribe, notification button. Part 3 will be coming out in another month or so. Thanks, everybody. This is Matt Price, mattpricedrumming.com. See you in the next one.